What's up, guys? Chris from One More Cast. So I want to do something different today that I haven't done on my kayak, and I parked at Eldred's and they sell little bags of chum, so I got a bag of chum. And one thing I used to do when I had my boat and I would try to get bait is we'd buy the big bag of chum, and we'd chum out a little bit to get some greenies. Last time we were here, I seen a lot of greenbacks, a lot of pinfish. So what I did was I brought my big bucket, and down in there I got this bag of chum, and I brought my son's 5-foot cast net. So what I'm gonna do is, and pretty much try to show how stable my kayak is right here. So right here it's about 2.5 feet, 2 feet, and right over there it drops off to about 3.5, 4 feet. I've been seeing a lot of greenies in there. I can actually see them right there. There's quite a few of them right there in that deep hole. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chum up the water a little bit since the tide is going out. That way I'm gonna throw the chum this way. I'm gonna throw the chum up there. That way it floats back to here, and they should get schooled up pretty good over there. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of greenies here already. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm still gonna show you the process of chumming though, because I feel like that's really important sometimes if you're not on the fish. So I've already moved everything, all of my gear, from the front to the back. All my poles are in the back. Everything is to the back now. That way I have a wide range of cast. Now it's been a really long time since I've thrown a cast net, because I don't usually use bait. So one thing I have learned is I wear a necklace. I'm tucking that in my shirt, because I've thrown a cast net and it get hooked on a necklace and about ripped me in the water. So first thing you're gonna need is you need a bucket, a small bucket, to mix your chum in. But before I do that, because I'm in the kayak, and let's just say you are in deeper water and you can't get out, I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna get everything back here ready. So here's the cast net. I know it's got a few holes in it, but it should work. My son likes to throw it at the beach a lot. So I'm gonna put the cast net over in front of me. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna scoop some water, and I'm gonna fill this with water. And now I'm going to turn on the aerator, make sure the aerator is working. Some bubbles. Stick it to the bottom. Now my aerator is running. So now that I'm done with that, my bucket's ready. Now you're probably going to have to, I got water in my cooler. You'll probably get a little bit of water on your rods and reels doing this, but you know, I'm going to rinse them down afterwards. So what you're going to do is you're going to take some of the chum and pour it in. I'm not gonna keep any of this, so I'm just gonna use the whole lot of it. And since this is a small bag, I'm gonna stick it underneath my seat so it can't fly anywhere. That way I know it won't fly out of the back. Normally I throw my soft plastics back here and my water bottles, but they normally don't fall out. You're gonna get a little bit of water in here. Start small and work your way up. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll up my sleeves too, because this stuff gets nasty. I'm just gonna add little by little, and you're gonna start mixing it. What you want to be, like a peanut butter consistency. You don't want it to be too thick, but you don't want it to be too runny either. You're gonna be able to glob it up. And this stuff does make a mess, and it does stink, so okay, so now that it's, I can take it and mold it kind of like peanut butter almost. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rinse my hands off. I'm gonna move my cast net out of my way. Put that up there for now. I'm gonna stand up, and I can already see a lot of greenies down there, but those are a lot of small ones, so I want to try to get some bigger ones. So I'm just gonna toss this up, and then the water, I don't know if you can see it or not in the water, but the water is going to pull it down. So I'm going to throw it back behind me. That way the current will bring it down to where it's in front of me. Like I said, I already see a lot of greenies out here. I knew they were going to be out here late because of last time, but I already see a lot of greenies out here, but I want to get some big ones up here. A lot of these are small right now, and when you're throwing this stuff, it's gonna get everywhere. So just keep in mind that you'd probably end up having to rinse stuff up. But I don't know if you can see down there or not, but yeah, I can definitely see a bunch of them out there. What you're gonna do is gonna throw blobs of them out there. I'm just gonna let it sit, and you're gonna give it a minute, and this is actually gonna help pull in a lot of the bigger greenbacks. So, yep, see, now you can see it's raining. Almost, it looks like it's raining on top of the water over here. That's all greenbacks. It's all bait right there. And what this will also do is, once I get my greenbacks, I can also fish it, because all these greenbacks are gonna come in close, and it's gonna bring a lot of predator fish in too. So I've actually thrown chum. We've caught our greenbacks, and we sat there and just caught fish right out of the greenbacks, out of the chum we were throwing. But you can already tell they're coming. And like I said, so I've got a cooler packed full of waters and ice. I've got that 5-gallon bucket 3/4 of the way full, all of my gear on me, and I'm still, you know, I'm able just to stand it up and turn around in this kayak. So one thing I do suggest is you do get a very stable kayak that you know you're going to be able to stand up and move around. Because I like to sight fish a lot, and I would, if I couldn't stand up in my kayak, I wouldn't be happy. All right, so I've thrown quite a bit of chum. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this chum, put it up top real quick, rinse off my hands. Now I'm gonna try to get this kayak, this cast net ready. My first one might be a banana. It's been a really long time since I've thrown a kayak, especially smaller nets. It's harder for me to throw smaller nets than it is bigger nets. So let me get all this untangled. This one we got for my son Riley, and he's pretty much mastered throwing this thing. CJ, he has also, but they use this at the beach a lot, so it does got quite a few holes in it from the shells. But this was a learner net for them to learn how to throw a net. The ideal size net that I like to have is an 8-foot net, 1/4 inch mesh, and make sure it's pretty heavy, because sometimes you do want it to sink. If you're in deep water, you want to be able to sink pretty fast. Right here it's not that bad, so dang, this thing was all tangled up. I'll work on getting this undone. Probably should have had this ready, but I mean, especially being in the kayak, guys, just make sure all your stuff is ready that you need ready. One thing I've learned is that the less you have to do when you're trying to catch a fish or pull fish in, the easier it is to land the fish, or anything in general. I like to have everything ready for me. That's the wrong one. Yeah, I can hear fish already blowing up on these greenbacks. Well, here's a lesson right here. Make sure you have your stuff ready. I'll probably have to throw out a couple more things of chum. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I still see a lot of greenies out there, so I think we'll be all right. So you put it on your wrist. I'm left-handed, so everything's pretty much going to be opposite. And what I do is I grab the horn and choke up on the horn as much as possible. You're gonna grab it halfway down, and if you're using a bigger net, I fold it in half twice. Take this in, throw it over your shoulder. I know you can't see me, I'm just trying to explain it. You're gonna split the net in half. Grab the outside lead line. I'll do a tutorial on this one day. It's just hard to have something facing me. And I'm just gonna, there we go. Okay, yeah, there we go. So you see I got quite a few. These guys aren't the biggest greenbacks. This guy right there is a nice one. So what I'm gonna do is open this lid up. I'm gonna try to drop them all right in there. Yeah, a lot of these guys are small. So I'm gonna try to get as many of the big ones out as I can. Dump of that. These guys are tiny. So I got quite a few in there right now. Let me see. All this green out. Yeah, there's quite a few in there. All right, we'll do one more cast. There was a really big one in there. But yeah, these guys, see, they're so small, they're getting stuck into the they're getting stuck in the net. So I was hoping for some bigger ones right there. These guys are really small. So I'm gonna shake them out the best I can. Whatever I can't get out now, I'll get out later. So we'll give it one more cast, see if we can get some more bigger ones. There was definitely some nice ones in there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chum up a little bit more. Yeah, see all these scales and stuff all over my kayak. It's gonna be a fun wash down day. So that's the last bit of the chum. It's rather than getting pinfish. Okay, so I'm gonna get one more cast. Hopefully we can get some bigger ones. The small ones will work, but the bigger ones would be a lot better. Like I said, there's still gonna be a few in the net because I couldn't get out right now, but I'll get them out later. They're so small that they try to get out. Okay, we're at the bottom. And there's a bunch of them. They're all like right there. I go all the way to the bottom. I get some bigger ones. See, yeah, it's lit up. We got a bunch more. So let's see if we can. Yeah, they're all about the same size. So all a little on the smaller side. That's okay though. It looks like a lot of these ones didn't get stuck though, so that's good. Okay, so just for one person, that'll be enough. Yeah, I see those scales everywhere. Yeah, a lot of these are thread fins too, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna shake out the net real quick. That sandbar is right over there, so I'm gonna go clean out the net real quick, and clean out my bucket. All right, yeah, I don't know if you can see there's scales everywhere. It's definitely not something clean to do. So I'm gonna get over there and I'm gonna clean off my kayak and tie up a hook so we can get ready to fish. Net all cleaned out, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna use my chum bucket for my cast net. So now I can store my cast net right there in this. Come to the back. Now that I can get out, it's very, very shallow here. And what I'll do is I'll pick this up. And I'll throw that right in there. So that's stowed away. That won't get in the way anymore today. I'm gonna grab my bucket, and I keep the lid facing me. That way it's easy to turn around and just get it. And I'm gonna clean out all this grass. I don't know how well you guys can see it in there, but a lot of these are probably thread fins, so they're gonna die fairly quick. Thread fins aren't the hardiest fish, but they're small. There's a couple greenbacks in there. I see a couple greenbacks, but most of them are thread fins. And there's the difference between a greenback and a thread fin is, so this guy right here is a thread fin. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little piece of thread that hangs off his fin, a little tiny piece, and they fall apart. You see all the scales on them? That's a thread fin. A greenback right here is a greenback. You don't have that piece of thread that comes off his fin, and they're a lot more hardy. These guys are the ones we want. They stay alive a lot longer. They're easier to keep on a hook. So those are actually really small ones. I was hoping to get some bigger ones, but what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna rinse down my kayak with a bottle of water. You know, get all these scales. All these scales and stuff are from those thread fins. So I'm gonna get all these scales off of my kayak, get it rinsed down real quick, rinse off my reels and stuff, tie on a hook on this one, and get the fishing.